It's T-minus 2 hours until volleyball practice as I'm doing my household chore, folding the laundry, and I realize that the dreaded phenomenon that happens to all of us has happened to me. I can't find my missing sock. But these socks weren't just any sock. They were my plain white Nike volleyball socks that I have worn to every single volleyball practice for years. They were perfect length, perfect comfort, and they did the most important thing for me, which was maintaining conformity. I'd always been a very low-key person. I was a freshman on the older volleyball team, so I went to practice, very nervous to impress the older girls. I did my thing, and I came home. Keeping these white socks were kind of a safety blanket for me because I didn't really have to stand out. I got to continue doing my thing. No one really paid attention to me, and I left. So when I showed up to practice this day, because I couldn't find my white volleyball socks, in Christmas, candy cane covered, Buddy the Elf covered socks, I was terrified. I thought that I was going to be laughed at, and I thought that my coach was even going to point me out and make fun of me. But quite the opposite actually happened. This particular day, a teammate came up to me and told me that she really thought my socks were funny and she liked them a lot. So I show up to the next practice and I wear cowboy socks. The same thing happens with another teammate. And I notice that as the days pass, I don't buy a new pair of white volleyball socks, but in fact, I start wearing crazier socks. And as that occurs, the years also pass, and I've probably spent about $100 or so on ridiculous, fun, crazy volleyball socks. And I also had started gaining attention on the court from my teammates who could spot me out in a crowd of anyone, and other school districts. I noticed that girls on other school teams knew exactly who the libero in the back was because she was wearing crazy socks once again, as she had done to every single other game for the past about 2 years now. But the one most important thing that these crazy socks gave me, the superpower that I felt like they gave me, was that I started developing a sense of identity. I didn't go to practice and I wasn't low-key. I didn't go to practice, pass the ball, come home, and that was it. In fact, I started kind of gaining a leadership role on the team. I was probably the loudest. I was cheering on the sidelines even if I wasn't playing. And if I was playing, I was cheering on the court. If I messed up, I laughed it off and I continued. I didn't get nervous or panicked. And I didn't really care what people thought of me. Because of course there were times where I walked into games and girls on the other team looked at me with a judgy look, wondering why I was wearing stupid, crazy, fun, colorful socks. And this necessarily doesn't really become about the socks itself. And it doesn't really become about this so-called superpower that the socks gave me, but rather, I noticed that they had kind of reflected a part deep down inside of me and allowed it to come out. Because as these years passed, the colorful socks not only continued coming to volleyball with me, but they also continue coming other places with me, like school and to hangouts. For example, if I was going to Dairy Queen late at night with my friend, I was wearing fun socks with sandals. And in job interviews, I started becoming a little more humorous. While I was volunteering, I was a little louder. Even when I was in clubs, I didn't just want to be a member. I wanted to be president, or I wanted to be vice president or social media manager. At Model U United Nations conference, I was hanging out with people and I was having a good time. And now, in college, I realized as I joined clubs and I started gaining leadership roles that the socks weren't something that just allowed me or gave me an identity, but rather they kind of unlocked a part of me that I hadn't really been allowing to come out for so long. So if you're wondering, should I wear this stupid shirt or should I wear this fun pair of shoes or shorts? Yeah, go for it. Wear them. Because maybe you'll kind of find a part of yourself that you didn't realize existed.